Paranormal Investigation, Making a Science of Pseudoscience by Chad Watson, IDS 403, Preparing for the Future, Final Project. Everyone has experiences that are unexplained. The television media has brought paranormal investigation out of the darkness and into the limelight. Shows like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures have brought paranormal investigation into the homes of people who may have never heard of ghost hunting and brought it into their living rooms. Now there is another explanation for those things in the corner of one's eye or mysterious unexplained knocks. Perhaps this media popularization is similar to the idea that technology drives human behavior. In this case, a non-human technology or unexplained incident will drive behavior in a slightly different way. Pinch and Biker, in their article, The Social Construction of Facts and Artifacts, mention the social groups concerned with the artifact and the meanings that those groups give to the artifact play a crucial role. The key requirement is that all members of a certain social group share the same set of meanings attached to a specific artifact. In paranormal investigation, the technology that has been adapted are, to name a few, audio recorders, which catch electronic voice phenomena or EVP, electromagnetic field meters, which detects areas of change in EMF fields as well as possible communication methods, and flashlights for nighttime illumination and for other possible communication methods. Paranormal activity has wide-reaching influences and reactions. Those who are most affected by this activity are those experiencing paranormal activity, where Clarissa Vasquez, founder of the Colorado Coalition of Paranormal Investigators, CCPI, said, "When a person is so frightened of the things going on in their home or business that they are willing to allow a group of strangers into their personal space at night, that's saying something. They are literally at the end of their proverbial rope. We go into reported haunted locations, spending money we don't usually have, get dirty, spending hours of setting up and tearing down equipment, analyzing footage, all for the sake of helping people." Paranormal investigators are also infected in this group, as well as skeptics and those of various religious beliefs, including atheism and agnosticism. Then there is evidence collection. Is a belief confirmed or denied by capturing audio evidence? From this, are beliefs validated or debunked? Is there a change in paradigm, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral? Are believers made from skeptics or skeptics from believers? These are all questions that those affected by the activity must face, and many of them can be quite challenging. Initially, people contacted mediums and spiritualists to encounter those in the afterlife. Believers used photography to try and evidence this afterlife. In the 1940s, Attila von Slesy proposed using audio recordings to confirm spirit photography. In 1959, Friedrich Jürgensen bought a tape recorder and accidentally captured the first EVP. In the 1970s, there was the transition from analog recorders to digital recorders. The social construction of technology, SCOT, is a multi-directional model where some technologies die and others survive. In this example, we will look at death and life. In death, we see analog tapes, where they were becoming increasingly rare, and they could only record 30 minutes to 1 hour at a time. But in life, we see digital recorders, where they record for multiple hours, and the recordings are cleaner with reduced background interference. As with any area of research, there are both positives and negatives that can be taken away from it. In terms of a positive aspect, McDonaldization has not taken hold in this arena. Paranormal research is still relatively new. EVPs were only recorded at the end of the 1950s. Different teams have different investigation protocols, and they investigate in slightly different ways. So there is no standard or assembly line procedure. Evidence is collected in the field and studied in the lab, similar to paleontology and archaeology, where research is collected in a dynamic environment. Paranormal research collects evidence, then analyzes it for any clues. Some negative aspects are there's no standardization of the method. They can create inconsistencies between investigation teams, which can turn into inconsistent results. There are also privacy concerns. where things that are discussed in an investigation could be of a sensitive nature from both the living side and the dead. How does this affect society? Paranormal investigation has always brought about a polarization of people. Either there is a belief in the afterlife or there is not. There are very few people who sit in the middle. Religious beliefs, upbringing, and personal experience all help to define what is real around us. EVP or camera images or seeing a ghost appear all affect how we see the world. Is our rationale justified or not? What do we keep or reject as a part of our personal experience? According to Markovsky and Thai in their article Social Influence of Paranormal Beliefs, they state more than 9 out of 10 Americans believe in the paranormal. This is due to lack of critical thinking skills, fads, a need for transcendent experiences, failure in the educational system, and cultural cycles. In fact, the social impact theory views paranormal beliefs as a natural consequence of social influence processes in interpersonal settings. Also, influences of paranormal suggestion increases when an individual is around others that believe. Similar to psychology, paranormal investigation is a relatively young research field. From the ancient Greek times to the 16th century, understanding behavior, thoughts, and feelings was not easy, which may explain why it was largely ignored. And still, between 150 and 200 years ago, modern psychology was not a unified science. Psychology took so long to emerge as a scientific discipline because it needed time to consolidate. Paranormal research is considered illegitimate by the sciences, and given its non-standard research methods, it's difficult for paranormal investigation to emerge as a research field. Paranormal investigators are personally vested in the idea of becoming recognized as a legitimate research because of the countless hours they dedicate to the field, according to Clarissa Vasquez. Paranormal researchers take great pride in their work. They are professional and they're able to adapt to their surroundings. They ask the hard questions to debunk or eliminate evidence that they collect. They are living proof of the Sherlock Holmes adage, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. The topic of paranormal investigation can fit into the following 2 categories. First, the SCOT, which is the incorporation of different types of technology to improve and gather data. Knox would be used by spiritualists who would go and try and communicate with the afterlife. Then photography was in use. Audio recorders then became the natural result of that, using analog and digital recorders. And now video recorders are being used during investigations. Secondly, social force. Due to the momentum of the paranormal research train, television shows have increased exposure of paranormal activity, most notably Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. Paranormal investigation as a science can be viewed in a non-favorable light even among people who are in this research field. Paranormal researcher Barry Fitzgerald said, "The word science should not be used in a technically based research unit, as it's no more scientific than boiling an egg and is very different. To research the paranormal in a lab, which is sealed from all elements, is truly scientific, and would also make the experiment useless, and there are factors which are required to allow paranormal phenomena to happen, which would be lacking, and therefore would yield no results." Even Eric Goode defines paranormalism as a non- or extra-scientific approach to a phenomena, a scientifically implausible event that is believed to be valid and literally and concretely true. There are not many studies about the legitimacy of paranormal research. Clarissa Vasquez said, "Science is an attempt, largely successful, to understand the world, to get a grip on things, to get a hold of ourselves, to steer a safe course. Microbiology and meteorology now explain what only a few centuries ago was considered sufficient cause to burn women to death. Just as paleontology gets criticized, there will be more than likely naysayers regarding paranormal investigation as it pertains to mainstream religion. However, with perseverance and dedication from individual investigators and organizations such as CCPI, there is hope that someday paranormal encounters and research will be commonplace. The Phantom Hitchhiker Project, PHP, is a research project developed by Clarissa Vasquez to show that paranormal investigation can be studied under scientific conditions. This is done through the scientific method. First, observation. There are reports of unexplained spirit traveler activity at locations where vehicle deaths have occurred. Second, question. Can paranormal investigation be conducted in a scientific way to confirm or refute these reports? Third, hypothesis. If tragic and sudden deaths cause spirit energy to remain at the location of a vehicular death, then an investigation can be conducted under controlled conditions at these locations to detect that energy. Fourth, gather data. Using controls, discussed momentarily, evidence is collected at the location. Pinch and Biker have said, even after an artifact has been built and sold by a corporation, individuals still have the power to redefine what the technology means and come up with unanticipated uses for it. Paranormal research has done this. The PHP uses the following standardized tools: digital cameras, digital audio recorders, EMF detectors, and a stopwatch or another timer for EVP sessions. To implement the PHP, the following have been established as control areas. First, lunar phase. Investigations are conducted on the night of the full moon. Second, time of the investigation, 12 midnight of the full moon. Third, questions asked. Is there anyone here with us this evening? Can you tell us your name? Where do you live? How old are you? Can you tell us what year it is? And fourth, equipment. Groups that can help implement the PHP are CCPI, other paranormal groups, and other individuals or groups interested in this type of research and will maintain the integrity of this investigative method. Everyone experiences unexplained phenomena. Some of it can be confusing and frightening, but everybody wants answers. The mission of the Colorado Coalition of Paranormal Investigators is to prove by using scientific techniques that there is life after death. By using the scientific method, which allows parameters for conducting paranormal research, the Phantom Hitchhiker Project gives legitimacy to the paranormal field.